Rightio. Well, at least I'll be safe. I've got an airbag. Alright, let's see if we can drive this down to map. Oh, that's been locked off. Alright, driving an unregistered crashed vehicle on the road. What could possibly go wrong? Ooh. Ooh, the door's locked. Hope I can get out. Half a race. Race kind of works. Look. Look at that. What I'd like to establish is whether it charges. This is new to you, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I've never plugged one in.
I have a lot, because I've reviewed a lot of electric cars. Okay.
So I was thinking.
Ooh. I heard it. Did you hear the relay go?
I did, yeah. So it's starting to draw 0.7 amps, 8 amps. It says down at the bottom here 8 amps, so I take it that's maximum that it can draw through this.
Oh yeah. 82%. It's at 82%. Try and put it in drive. Won't do it. That's good. Charge is connected. So everything's working as intended.
Good.
It should be locked.
Yeah, it is too. Yep.
See, this is the cooling for the battery.
Yep.
And now we're charging it. Can you see all the little electrons going in there? Well, that's all I wanted to prove today.
That's it.
That it charges.
So it's cold. That's really hot.
I'm going to take it for another drive.
Yeah, good.
Let's go do some doughies. Let's do some circle work.
Yeah.
The most fantastic thing in the world would be if we could use the DC charging capability.
Sure.
I mean, that's fine. That's AC.
Yeah.
But if we can use the DC as well,
Yep.
that would
So
be
this one.
yeah. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
high current one in public infrastructure. That would be an incredible bonus for an electric 928. So I've been watching this Jag, which is coming up for auction in about 2 minutes' time. I went out and checked it out. It's a fantastic candidate for an EV. My mum and dad had one, loved it. It's dry inside, it's been sitting untouched for about 10 years in a dry old barn out west. It was sitting at $2,000 till just a few minutes ago, and now it's up there a bit. So let's check it out. I had a $5,000 limit. Its next bid's 4.9. Fantastic car. Would love to do an EV conversion on that, but some people say, why don't you just finish the project you currently got before you do another one?
Roller on board, 146,000. Thank you.
You're going to pass it in for 146,000. The owner's got high expectations there. Here's our Jag.
With 21,000 miles. There's a 2.4.
A couple of minutes ago, it was sitting at $2,000. I was prepared to go to 5.
This is being offered
And where are we at?
today. Let's take
4,720.
Alrighty, thank you. Taylor Cone with 4,720. You heard her. We're on the market. Let's sell it.
We're on the market.
Please another bid at 4,700.
We've got 10 seconds staying up my mind.
Here, folks, take it away at 4,700. I'm going to sell to 8. At 4,700, I sell.
Plus fees is at 5.3 already.
4,700. Taylor.
Damn it.
Thanks, Anthony. Next up, we have lot 257.
Oh well, my next EV project will have to wait for another day. Just a little too steep. $5,000 was my limit. It was at 4.7 plus fees makes 5.3. No, I think I've got enough on my plate, don't you? I'm so pleased with that car, aren't you?
Yeah, for the money, absolutely. It's going to yield what we need. We'll be able to use more than we think. Utilise systems and...
Said with great confidence.
We will, you know. Do we utilise the batteries out of this, which was the initial thoughts, and still use a Tesla drive motor and try and fuse them together to make them talk, I guess.
First concern is the batteries in this car are designed to operate with a motor that only puts out 135 kilowatt. That's not going to be enough.
Yep.
So we are getting a Tesla motor.
Yep.
We believe the batteries are capable of doing a lot more,
Sure.
and it's just the electronics that's throttling it down.
Yep.
So that's the first question people ask, why are you using such a puny set of batteries?
Yes.
The batteries are actually pretty good.
Yep.
The question is, we've got all these other great modules in the car. We know we want to use the battery management system. We've got AC and DC charging. But as you've seen, we've got so many good workable systems, aircon and the cooling systems and plus inside. You know, imagine if you had all that that stuff inside, like a modern car. What's your thinking on using all those modules? What are the options?
You know, if you could lift the whole loom into the car out of this, As long as, like, you know, resistances were all there, like you could put LED light bulbs throughout that and use the body control module to trigger everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of MG. So it's either use little bits of it like the batteries or use it all. It's a shame this has got such a low output motor, because if you could lift that whole transaxle into it, all we'd have to do, there'd be no aftermarket, it'd be just cutting and extending wires, do you know what I mean? And then we literally...
Mate, I'm pushing the boundaries already with an electric 928.
Yeah, that's right.
If I put an MG motor in a 928, then
right.
I'll get crucified.
Yeah, that's
okay.
right. But that's ultimately our Achilles heel is communication. And we don't know what the MG needs, and we're trying to work out those. Can we take this signal away from it to make it still work? That's what we've got to learn.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, we just use the batteries, and everything
Absolutely.
else is the known path of aftermarket. You know,
Definitely, yep.
With okay, we can't use any of this stuff. Just the batteries, our Tesla motor.
That's it.
And aftermarket battery management system, aftermarket engine controller.
Yes,
And
that's right.
And we start from the ground up, as it were. Stay tuned to the channel and watch the continuing adventure of two guys who've got no idea what they're doing.
That's it, and happy to admit it.
It's so integrated, everything needs to see everything else, or you're
Correct.
screwed. Like we found, if we disconnected the VCU, effectively the computer, the engine computer, a lot of stuff still worked.
Yeah,
And it appeared to go, it just wouldn't go.
just a check.
Yeah, but when we disconnected the ABS unit back here, everything shut down. It threw an absolute hissy fit, saying,
Lights,
you haven't got brakes, then nothing. It disconnected the high voltage, everything.
And you did have AC, you'd have to somehow put an AC control panel, which is digitized, where this is all, in your Porsche's manual.
Yeah.
So there's another thing, okay, does our aftermarket BMS unit, does it have
Too
that
hard.
inputs, outputs? We need a control panel for that alone.
We've got one.
You know what I mean?
It's attached to the loom. It's a
That's
beautiful
right.
little
Yeah,
thing.
that's right.
It's got two Phillips head bolts to
Yeah.
attach it.
So,
Use it.
would be, you'd have to probably, like the blend motor flap for hot heating and cooling.
Yep.
You'd have to take that motor out and mod it to yours. So just find the hot cold slider. You'd make it be just tricky things like that, which you could make all the manual systems in yours electric, you know, and you've bought this amazing car with all these features. I'm not saying we can use them all, but if you could, we'll find out, you know.
I don't know about the Porsche, but we can use this in a Citroen. Citroen DS23 would be a perfect car.
Yeah.
Because they're such a nice car, except for the really agricultural four-cylinder motor.
Yep.
And this would go so nicely in the front of a DS23. Next project. And look, 105 kilowatts, 303, 353. That's a lot of torque.
Yeah.
That torque is much more important than that power rating. Because that's plenty of torque.
Yes.
And that's what we want. We want a car that launches off the line. Look how small it is.
Yeah, it is. So there's our bottom of our two coolant pumps.
Yep.
So there's the AC compressor there.
Yep.
Which just bolts to the side.
A steering rack,
Steering rack, yeah.
electric power steering.
So it's under the dash.
Okay.
So we just got a manual rack here, which is pretty simple.
But we won't be using that rack.
No.
But we'll need to find a way to hydraulically power steer.
Yes.
So we'll need... I just happen to see an Astra pump over there.
There is an Astra pump. Someone's unscrewed that screw and taken it off, which I wonder where that's gone.
That's happened after the crash. Somebody's gone in to try and physically
Yep.
disconnect the HV, but that's the main connector between the battery
Yep.
there.
44.5 kilowatt hour. Chemical type NCM.
Nickel cobalt manganese, that is.
Okay.
It's the style that only likes to go to 80%, but you can see easy to come out. Zip, 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 zip.
Yeah, just a heap of
5
bolts.
big bolts each side, and then your whole battery's out. Simple McPherson strut.
Yeah.
Where's our ABS sensors?
So they are here. There's one. Just there,
yeah.
that guy there.
Yeah. Be interesting to see what happens if we leave the ABS control unit in, but disconnect all the sensors. Does the car still drive?
Yeah.
It'll have an ABS fault on the dash,
Yes.
but does it still drive?
Does it drive? Yeah. Does.
That's the pedestrian warning system.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just like putting a playing card through your bicycle spokes, isn't it? So here is a potential fly in the ointment with our theory. If we go, let's use a Tesla motor, that's fine, except there is feedback going from the motor back to the engine computer, and that's what this is. So that's sending information back to the car about what the motor's doing. That's a fly in the ointment, isn't it? If you want to use a Tesla motor,
Yeah.
and it's not getting that information back.
Engine computer, I'll call it. Unless it doesn't get its happy signals, it might go, I'm not engaging drive. non-engaging reverse, I'm never getting out of park. So that's the only thing I can see of swapping the motor. It'd be great if we were using this because it'd be like for like, but
Yeah. Well, you could experiment, couldn't you? You could take that off.
Yeah.
And try and drive the car.
definitely, yeah.
See what happens.
See what happens. Let's try it. We have to.
Disconnect this feedback, because that's the only thing coming back out of the motor, apart from the power going to the motor. I'll get in the car.
Yep.
Let's see if it drives.
Yeah.
Ready, power. Up she comes, foot on brake. Aircon's on, dash is on. No surprise there. Okay, here we go. Will it go into drive? It'll go into drive. I'll press OK to return. Airbag fault, we know that. Looks faulty. Okay, here we go. Auto hold false. Handbrake off. Right. Parking brakes off. Just trying to drive. Motor fault. Consult handbook. Motor overheating. Oh. It's in drive. Are the wheels turning? High voltage battery shut off. Without a sensor, it thought the motor was overheating.
Yes.
When it's not overheating. But open circuit means overheating.
No.
There's probably a digital encode. It's probably a digital signal.
Yeah, it's
Not just a straight analog voltage value or resistance or something.
yeah.
Okay, switching off. Okay, so you've reconnected the encoder.
Yep.
Put on brake. Power steering just started. Dash is going. Ready.
Yep.
We're in drive.
Oh, it's rubbing on there.
Here's rubbing on the thing.
That's interesting. So yeah, that's one thing. If we do try and lift everything out of the car bar the motor, we just need to. Can the Tesla motor be operated as the motor only without the inverter use? Because I suppose after the inverter, it's got 3 inputs for 3 wires because it's AC, right? If you get on that side of the inverter where it directly connects to the motor,
I seriously doubt that.
yeah, I wonder if it can be
It's
driven.
really integrated, I think.
Yeah, okay,
You can change the inverter board
Yep.
in the thing, so you've got lots of control.
sure.
And by putting an open inverter board on, so you can then connect to a laptop and
Yep.
configure everything,
Sure.
and then burn it into the firmware.
Yep.
You can flash it. That's a known art, doing that, changing the inverter board, and that's
Gotcha.
probably the fallback option.
Yeah.
Okay, we've learned a lot today, haven't we?
Oh, definitely. You know, it's all.
It's a reasonably fault-tolerant car. If you
Yeah, it
if you
is.
screw something up
Yep.
and disconnect something,
Yeah.
all you have to do is disconnect the battery, reconnect, and the thing resets.
We should do the ABS sensors and just disconnect them and cable tie them up, and you'll have ABS faults, but does it stop driving? You know.
Good
Should look
question.
for- And can you drive it and brake?
I disconnected the ABS
Yeah.
sensors there because ABS was never originally fitted to an 81 or 83 928.
So yeah, it's just
Okay.
quite deep. Goes through the hub and into the wheel bearing.
Car's in neutral, we're in drive. Auto hold fault. Accelerate. We're driving, accelerating.
Still spinning.
It's still spinning.
Yep, going backwards. Yep. So
What have we done
disconnected the 2 brake calipers. It's
The electronic parking brake.
yep, just at the calipers, just 2 connectors. Or sorry, 1 for each caliper. And I just said to Stu, let's put in park. See, I'm just wondering if there's a park pin or something in the actual drive line, and it appears no.
No. The only thing that
So-
stops it rolling away
Is the electronic
is
handbrake.
the electronic handbrake.
And it's funny when it's in neutral, so it's flashing.
It's in neutral. Yep.
And when you go to drive, it goes into drive.
Goes to drive.
And then you press neutral to park.
Neutral. Try and go to park.
And straight away
Won't
just-
do it. And you can't. It won't turn on there either.
Yep.
So it's not getting a signal back from the electronic parking brake saying that it's available.
Sure.
And
So,
wow.
but if you go back to drive, and now put your foot on the throttle, what happens? We got drive. This car's getting less and less each day. Had a full interior, now it's got no center console.
It's kind of cool
There's
operating it
modules
like
everywhere.
this. Everything still works. Look.
Yeah, look at that.
Except the park brake. See how neat I am in disassembling
That's
things?
it.
Yeah. With all this attention on the MG, the poor 928 on the hoist is feeling really neglected. I need to continue stripping the car for its saleable bits, so despite the completely perished bushes in the world's sloppiest gear linkage, we need to have a peek inside the 5-speed box. And sure enough, despite not having moved in 2 decades, it looks like it's just been refurbed.
Like the front of the dog teeth are quite sharp, you know? That's good.
But this, you can't see uneven
Yeah, this,
where they're very...
like the case hardening hasn't come off.
Okay.
So,
That's the first selector,
yep.
second and third
Second
selector,
and third, yep.
fourth and fifth selector. You can, actually, it's written 4 and 5 on there. Somebody's had this open.
Yeah. It is clean there though, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what we can tell, isn't it?
From a quick glance, it looks good, you know?
The gearbox go looks pretty damn good to me.
It does, yeah.
Okay. Why don't we have a look at the diff as well?
Yeah.
Brand new oil. Okay. Oh yeah.
Not knowing this diff well, but I'd say it's a Torsen type diff, so no clutches, it's all gears,
Yeah.
which is
Nice.
reliable.
Nothing to wear out.
yeah, nothing to wear out as long as it's got oil. We can count the teeth and measure the ratio, like you thought.
Actually, yes. Yeah. Oh well. And the limited slip diff, also good. Crown wheel looks fine, but that's what I'll come round. So the crown wheel, round we go. Uh-oh, oh no. Something's clearly got caught in there and scored 4 of the teeth on the pinion. I don't know how it'll affect the operation, but that's very disappointing to see, and I have to disclose it. Damn!
It looks good out of the outer
Oh,
case.
everything, we were going so well.
Yeah, looks good.
That was way, way better than I thought it would be, and
It's worth pulling the cover off, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You know, selling it to someone is...
yeah. But I still want to sell the whole driveline. I guess I'll just have to be a bit more amenable on price. A little disheartened, I decided to take out my frustration on the brake pedal of the MG. We've got no speedo, we've got no electronic parking brake. It doesn't know how fast we're going because it uses the ABS sensors for that, and they're all disconnected. So we've got a hydraulic braking system, no parking brake system, and no ABS. Okay, well it stopped very well. Mate, you should have heard all the stuff in the back go flying forwards. It stopped really well.
Yeah, good. So
Okay, who needs ABS?
If we can utilise this, that's great. Fast charging, battery management. Because if we can utilise the charging, we still need to control all the fans, all the power supplies for pumps and things, and possibly lifting just the high voltage components may not be enough. We'd still need some independent aftermarket, which I guess they're trying to work out.
Yeah.
So the idea of moving using bits and pieces, it's like that power struggle of we still need you know, banks of relays to control things, and even the locking for the charge point, you know, where's that, what handles that, what controls that? So it's learning the car, I guess, and going what's needed for safely running the car, and which I'll be honest, I don't know, and happy to admit, but how much of it can we lift from the car and save money? Because again, part of it's to not spend multiple thousands of dollars on an aftermarket.
My gut feeling from working on large projects with huge numbers of unknowns before is that we're not going to end up using very much of it. We're going to go for the proven path of aftermarket stuff. That's just my gut feel. It'd be a shame.
Or I think it's the opposite. We lift everything and we almost pretend our Porsche's an MG. Do you know what I mean? Like we lift the loom and everything, and we just have to cut and lengthen, and you know what I mean? It would be a super cheap. If we weren't chasing big power, you could showcase how the shell is just a shell, and we're just reshelling a car. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Which would be awesome to do, because we don't need to be as smart and understand modules and things. Do you know?
What you've then proven is a very affordable
Absolutely,
classic car conversion.
Which would be great for something, or someone that
doesn't need the power.
Yeah.
They just want, and you could almost say, you'd have a known quantity of the range and everything, because you almost lift the MG facts, do you know?
Yep.
As long as the weights are sort of close to each other.
Yep.
It'd be interesting. So now it's the more brain moments, I think,
Yeah.
than actual, we need to mount this here and there. So
Yep.
it'd be interesting, I think. The AC pump and all the cooling lines, it's all triggered how the factory wants it, you know, as well. Like, and even when it's charging, that fan coming on, do you know?
Yeah.
Which it's all
at the right temperature.
controlled here. You know, we've got so much technology in here, but
We're not cutting any wires.
Yeah. Where's those pliers?
We are not cutting any wires. Okay.
No bricking of modules. We're not making bricks. Hold on, what's this here?
That did not come out of my car. Put that down.
Yeah. We're going to win, as I said.
We're going to win.
It's not negotiable. That car will run utilising as much of this as we can.
I've heard you say that before working on cars when things have gone wrong and you've gone, this is not negotiable. Nobody's going to fix this but me.
That's right.